In this video, I'm driving a Citroën ZX Volcane, automatic, for the people. So yeah, here we go, the Citroën ZX. It's a conventional Citroën, although the styling is nicely Citroën, I'd say. Underpinning's very close to the Peugeot 306, so we've got McPherson strut front suspension. I think the rear's a torsion beam with some steering-ish sort of bushes or something. So it's meant to have passive rear wheel steering so to help out when you're pushing on a bit. There's nothing clever and technical about that, but nice styling, slightly rusty exhaust pipe there, and very of its time, I think, in the black with the red trim. It's a nice look. Something we seem to have lost with modern cars is this little bits of bright trim. They're really smarten the thing up. I like the four-spoke alloys as well. So yeah, the ZX was launched. It was kind of intended to slot beneath the BX and be more of a rival for things like the Peugeot 306, the Ford Escort. The BX was initially sort of marketed against the Escorts and everything, but really was a little bit too big for that. It kind of competed on price grounds, but not size grounds, whereas this is a bit more manageable. It's a very nice shape. They also used the ZX for Dakar, the Paris-Dakar races, but obviously much modified and not really any of these production cars in them at all. The smoked rear lights are enormously of their time, and there's more than a hint from this angle of Yugo Sana, I think. There's definitely a bit of a whiff of that going on. We've got single wiper just to tie it in with other French cars, or other Citroën, sorry, AX and BX and CX, even though the CX was not in production by the time the ZX was produced, but still that design language of the single wiper lingered on. And we've got a 1.9 fuel injection engine, so let's have a look at that. So the engine is canted back over, helps keep the bonnet line down, and makes cam belt changes all the more entertaining. Yeah, a busy little engine bay. And with the engine examined, we can now head inside, whereas this car has a few tricks up its sleeve. There we go. So we've got door card over here, packed full of music. Look, REM's automatic for the people, fittingly. Well done, Jono. And Shakespeare's Sister, because who doesn't like a bit of Siobhan Fahey? Yeah, all very plasticky. The colour theming is continued in here. There was a lot of fake plastic wood in here, I think, when Jono got this car, and it was awful. So I'm glad that's gone. And leather seats, an unusual option for a sports car as well. Very strange. We shall hop aboard and close the door to keep the horrible wind out. And there ahead of us we've got a nice clear instrument cluster. Let's just try and get it. Oh, tried to get the wheel straight. I know it's locked. But yeah, very clean, very concise, not particularly exciting. We've got water temperature, oil temperature, and petrol in the middle there. 101,000 miles on this example. We've got switchgear sort of located thusly, which is not entirely visible from where I'm sitting. Never mind. Lights are controlled here, and indicators thusly. We've got air conditioning. I doubt that works. And a flap to cover the stereo, I'm guessing. Oh yes, there it is, hidden beneath. A bit of Citroën build quality going on there. We've got an electric sunshine roof, which is nicely tinted. It brightens up the interior a lot. And oddly, we've got this panel here, which I assumed would be a glove box, but no, it just appears to be a panel. Is this one of those occasions where the French just stick two fingers up to us? And I bet left-hand drive versions had a glove box. We'll probably find the air conditioning gubbins sits behind that flap. And prevents a glove box from being fitted. That would be my guess. Tray French. Also got these electric window switches, which are kind of the wrong way up. A slightly weird sort of a layout. You kind of expect them to be more that way than that way. So we've still got blanking plugs ahoy. We've got electric mirrors down there. We've got heater controls all clear and concise and straightforward. We've got the gear selector complete with a display that doesn't actually work, so you don't know what gear you're in at any point. Just the 2 pedals and nowhere to rest the clutch foot. I mean, there's space, but there's no footrest, which seems a bit of an oversight. I think my Peugeot 306 had one of those. But yeah, very, very comfortable seats. There's a few rattles and creaks as you're driving along, and I think that's just because of the amount of leather in them. They've got a slightly ruched look. I think it's yeah, quite smart. I quite like that. Probably sit aboard the back. Now, I have actually been for a ride in this car, in the back of it, and it's actually really, really comfortable. I've just got enough headroom. You can see the roof scallops up behind the sunroof mechanism, so I've got space there. I've got a little light in the back as well. It's very, very standard PSA for the time. Looks like I've got a centre armrest, actually. Oh yes, there we go. Oh yeah. So now I'm living the dream, truly. Yeah, overall, pretty comfortable back here. It's nice that the seats are scalloped inwards, so there's plenty of room for knees. I can't really get my feet under the seats, so it's a little tight for space. I don't think I'd want to spend too long sitting here, but for occasional trips, it's okay. It's got these stupid fixed rear head restraints, which are just designed to give you worse whiplash. Also seen in many cars. Austin Ambassadors and Montegos spring to mind. Let's see if we can look in the boot. So I say let's see if we can, because it might get a bit French on us. Oh no, there we go, we're in. There we go. Nice capacious boot. Look at all that space. 60-40 split on the seats, so even more space, and a nice flap to cover the gap between, so when the seats fold down you don't lose stuff in the hinge area. Unfortunately the hook seems to be missing to actually tie that. Oh no, there it is. Let's see if I can tie the hatchback, the parcel shelf up out of the way. Right, so with that done, yeah, that's what this flap does. So as the seats fold down, it pulls the flap forward to cover the gap between the seats. I can try and demonstrate. See if I can fold the smaller seat. Oh, and it's actually got, I forgot they had this feature, an adjustable backrest, so you can fold it all the way, or you can set it in different positions. And this little bag keeps the parcel shelf extended. That works really well. I probably didn't demonstrate that very fairly. And no Citroën owner goes too far without taking their Haynes manual with them. But there you go, good sized boot, nice low lip, all the good times. And there was an estate version, if that somehow wasn't enough. Will it do it again? No, there we go. I entirely forgot that this is a thing. Terrible design, where I think these are meant to retract into the parcel shelf, but they never do. So you would always see ZXs with their cables hanging out. And of course it won't let me into the boot, so I can't do anything about it other than tuck it in there. Sorry, Jono. Good golly, I hadn't realised. Electric seats. Now it feels like I'm at the dentist. Incidentally, it's only the driver's seat that's electric. The passenger side is full-on manual. Right, so start the engine. Fuel injected, so you know it's going to settle down to a nice idle. I'm trying to remember what sort of brake horsepower these are. There must be more than 115, because that's what the 1.6 did, so maybe 130. Sounds about right. That sounds like we're in drive, which is marked with an A because French. So it's a 4-speed ZF. I don't think it's got a torque converter lockup. I could be wrong. Maybe we'll see if we can hear one. But it's a great driving position. Feels very sporty. The steering wheel is in just the right place. It actually sits quite low down. Although, can you adjust it? Yes, you can adjust it, but that's where I want it to be. You might hear the odd creak and groan going on. I might put these things a little more securely because there may be hoonery involved. We're here at Carsington Water in Derbyshire. Oh, wiper test, there we go. Single wiper, so no triangle of doom, But you do get corners of disappointment that are unswept, and I personally find that irritating, which is why I don't drive Citroën BXs anymore. Jono seems to think this is not a problem at all. Right. It's quite a sporty auto. It seems to be holding the gears there. Maybe I'm in third. Yeah, I was. There we go. So, yeah, now we're in fourth. That's what happens when you've got no gear selector. But no torque converter lockup. That's a shame, because that just adds to the efficiency of the gearbox, as well as reducing the rev slightly. But it's quite tall gearing anyway. It's quite relaxing. We're on a 50 mile an hour road at the moment, doing about 50. It's all good, but all the controls fall nicely to hand. The quality in here actually feels better than my last ZX. My last ZX was, it cost me £4 and a wheel bearing went on the way home. But generally I felt the fit and finish was not good enough, and this feels better. Perhaps because it's a bit more luxurious, being this fancy leather-clad version. But very keen steering. It's I would say that the ratio is just about right. It's composed in the bends. It rides beautifully. These are a bit firmer than standard, but still they float in a way modern cars just don't. Oh yeah. Kickdown's instant, bam, and it's in the next gear. It's good. Some gearboxes, especially as they start adding more gears, start getting confused about which gear could possibly be wanted next, and you put your foot down, you're kind of waiting for something to happen. This is feeling much better. There's no sport mode, so it's not like you can put it into an extra hoon time mode. Yeah, it's a really nice car to drive, actually. I mean, it helps that I'm an enthusiast of automatics. I think if you're after an out-and-out sports car, you wouldn't choose the auto, would you? Well, this is ideal for Peak District roads. And I bet it stops an awful lot better than Jono's C15 as well. Just test that, there's no one behind. Yeah, it's not bad. Has got ABS as well. I didn't hit the pedal hard enough to get that kicking in. I haven't really got the hair to demonstrate braking anymore. It doesn't show the G-force so well. So I just pulled it into third for a bit more engine braking as we come down to this set of traffic lights. We've got 4-speed fan. That's fascinating, isn't it? Very quiet indicators. As we said, the relay does not shout mightily with its clicks. But visibility is excellent because the glass house is enormous. Although, of course, I haven't got an interior mirror, so that's not quite so good. Right, we'll try and work out, maybe we'll try and do a 0 to 60. It's not the best terrain because it's so blooming hilly and there's bends everywhere, but see what she can do. Yeah, I kind of ran out of road there. We got up to 50 quite briskly. Yeah, that's good. It's nice. I can quite easily knock it down into third. Can I get into second? Not without pressing the lock button. So it accepts that third and fourth are the ones you're most likely to switch between. That works really nicely. What a clever setup. Interestingly, my friend Jonathan, he's thinking of selling the car, and it is sort of on the market at the moment. There's a few niggles he needs to sort out, like the missing mirror, and that window is very, very slow. But yeah, he's asking £2,000 for the car, and it's certainly got the potential to be a very, very nice car indeed. I mean, it's already fairly nice, to be honest. Oh, it's bogging a bit there as we're going uphill. Oh, the handling is, yeah, it's good. You can feel what's going on, and it just feels planted. It's just that, yeah, the gearbox has just taken us out of that prime power band. And yeah, that's already third, so I'd have to drop down to second manually. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Everyone who goes, you can't have automatics in sports cars, may have a point. Still, I quite like this odd combination of sporty and auto. It's my cup of tea. Peak District is one heck of a place. So yeah, if you're interested in the car, look for Peak 2CV on Facebook and the internet more widely. And then he can spend his money on some other ridiculous motor car. I think he really wants my City Rover, to be honest. I saw him lusting after it earlier. And who can blame him? Yeah, highly desirable motor vehicle. So the 306 is starting to develop a bit of a following. The ZX very much still not, and that's a real shame, because you don't get a Triangle of Doom on a ZX, and you do on a 306. I think it was Hurliers did a beautiful ZX convertible concept, but sadly it didn't make production. So there was only hatchback or estate. But the ZX did live on in China. In fact, it might even still live on to this day in China as the Volcane or something quite rude. There's some, yeah, slightly dodgy sounding name it lives on as a saloon as well. But, oh yeah, what a fine way to travel. Bit of an oversight. So there you go, that was the Citroën ZX Volcane automatic with the slush box. Definitely a hub nut sort of a sports car, but a really likeable package actually. I think I could definitely get on with one of those. I'm not paying £2,000 for one though, even if it is really, really nice. I'm just too tight with money. But yeah, really nice car, and I thank Jono for letting me drive it. I had a passenger ride in it last year. I've been curious to see what it's like, and I can conclude that I like it. So I shall say thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you go. Don't forget the Hubnut store, hubnut.org. Got calendars and all sorts of stuff there. Calendars for a limited time, obviously. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Farewell. Okay, I won't say it's for sale then.
Well, you can say,
It's a bit for sale?
I don't know really. Don't make a big fuss of it. Oh, I nearly bought a Blingo.
So you've really got your mind made up about this? We're just discussing whether this car is for sale. Is it for sale?
Nobody ever wants to sell a car.
No, I usually do.
Apart from you.
Yeah. I always do.
I never want.
So right, let's go and have a look
I'm not
at.
actually filming it. I'm not.
I am filming at the moment. We are looking at a ZX, which may or may not be for sale.
I'm not really in this video. You do these tests without the owner being present.